Hi everyone, welcome to Behind the Edits of Creative Fashion Portrait Retouching in Adobe Photoshop. This is not a step-by-step tutorial, but in this video I will show you what steps I took in order to make this image into something like this. Coming up. Hi everyone, I am Harshvardhan. Welcome to another superb episode. In this video, we'll learn how I created this creative fashion portrait retouching in Adobe Photoshop and what steps I took in order to make it look something like this. Basically, I have mixed two images. One is this one and the second is this one. So I mixed both of these and thereafter I got the result of something like this. If you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing, and if you like this video, please hit the like button and consider sharing it and leave something in the comments. So without further ado, let's get started. So what I did first, I took this image and I have cropped it later on. This was actually something like this. Let me just clear it and show you. It was something like this. It was a full size image and later on I cropped it for the Instagram, right? So it was something like this, okay, but let me undo it. So I cropped it for the Instagram, and how you can crop it, just go to the crop tool. This is the crop tool, or you can simply press C on your keyboard and you can see the shortcut keyboard is mentioned over here. And then from this ratio you need to select this 4:5, 8:10 or 4:5. This is for the Instagram and that looks amazing on the Instagram. And thereafter what I did, I just brought in this image and I extracted it from this background roughly, not that precisely, you can see. And this is the mask I created. I use the quick selection tool, which is over here. And then what I did, I just painted over this lady, all right, roughly. And then I went into the select and mask option, which is over here. And once I selected this, it opened the image into this selected mask option. I adjusted over here and refined this selection, and thereafter I pressed new layer with layer mask and I pressed OK. All right, I'm not going to show you. Let me turn this off and open this group, and here I have this image. You can see I have extracted it from the background, and thereafter what I did, I just placed it over here, resized it or scaled it up to match it with the size of this girl, and then I applied the Gaussian blur on this. So for that purpose I went to the filter, blur and Gaussian blur, all right. And you can see I made it a smart filter first. I turned right click and selected the convert to smart object, all right, and that way I can readjust this Gaussian blur anytime. So you can see over here there is a Gaussian blur and this is the smart filter, and if I just double click it, it's going to launch the Gaussian blur option once again. You can see over here, and I can adjust its radius if I want to make it more blurry, I can do that, and if I want it to have the less blur effect, I can do that. All right, I just selected the radius of 5.6, and thereafter what I did, I created a color balance adjustment layer, you can see, and this has been clipped to the underlying layer. So that means it's going to affect only this layer, and to do that you can simply press Ctrl Alt G, or you can use the shortcut keyboard command Option G, or you can come over here on the properties of this tool and select this little icon, and that way it's going to affect it. So if you just uncheck it, you can see this is going to affect the entire image, but I click over here, it's going to affect only this layer. And you can see I have added some of the red color into the highlights and midtones. So you can see I adjusted the midtones. I added +9 red and -6 this green and blue +1, and similarly I have the shadow channel, and in the shadows I added +4 red, +4 green and -1 yellow, and in the highlights I added +11 red by clicking on this slider, and +6 green and +4 blue. All right, so this is not the hard and fast rule that you have to follow each and every number as it is, but you can go for your liking, and in order to match the scene, that how much you need, you can, if you want, you can increase it or decrease it, you can anytime adjust it. You can see this is not looking good, so we have to match it with the background image, which is this one of this girl. And thereafter I created a stamp copy and used my cyan and orange Photoshop action. So you can use that by going to the windows and select the actions, and action panel would be open, and I have used the cyan and orange Photoshop action. So let me find it. Where is it? You can download this Photoshop action from the link in the description section below, and in order to install it, just click on this hamburger menu and select the load action and browse the downloaded file. So let me just find it. All right, so this is this one, deep cyan look. All right, you can go with that one. And thereafter I played it, and what this action did, it turned this image into something like this. So it added some blue, some cyan and the orange tone to the image. And thereafter what I did, I just added some this falling leaves texture, which you can download it from the link in the description section below. And then I created a mask, you can see over here, and using the brush tool with the black color, I just removed it from certain part of the image. So you can see over the face and from this area I removed these falling leaves because that won't look good. And thereafter what I did, I just placed this fire texture or this fire image. You can see this one, it was the normal image on the black background, and in order to remove the black background, it's very simple. You just change this layer blend mode to the screen, and that's going to make it look something like this. And then I reposition it to place it maybe over here, and created a mask over here using this little icon, this icon, and that's going to create a mask. And again with the brush tool, soft as brush, with the black color I painted over certain areas to remove it from there. So you can see I removed it from here, these fire particles. And thereafter I sharpened this image using the my Photoshop action, which is this one, professional sharpening. I think this one, yes, this one, professional sharpening. And what it basically does, it just creates a stamp copy of all of these layers. So let me just show you, Control Alt Shift E, and then it changes its layer blend mode to the linear light, and you will get this kind of a result. Thereafter go to the filter, other, and choose the high pass, and choose the radius of around 1.2 or 1.5, and thereafter press OK. And what it does, it just sharpens the image and adds lots of sharpening to the image. And if you want to apply it on selective parts of the image, you just create a mask, then choose the Control I or Command I to invert it so it doesn't affect, and then choose the brush tool, and with the white color just paint over the area which you want to make sharp. So in this case I painted over the eyes and these eyelashes or eyebrows, and on the lips, a little bit on the hairs, so that that area became sharp. So you can see over here, you can see the difference it makes. And thereafter what I did, I painted in some strokes in the eyes with the white color and changing its layer blend mode to overlay, so that way we add some little bit depth to the eyes. Okay, and thereafter I created the dose and burn option or dose and burn layer. So you can see the difference. I painted on the highlights and painted on the shadows, and for this purpose I use the curves adjustment, two curves adjustment, one is for the burn and one is for the dose. Again for this purpose I used my Photoshop action, which is called the dose and burn Photoshop action. What it does, it basically creates these 3 layers. One is this burn layer, and one is dose layer, and one is this black and white, so which helps you to find out or see the light and the dark, or the light and the shadows easily. And then you can paint over with the brush tool, with the softest brush with 10% opacity, and thereafter I turned the opacity to around 75% so that it doesn't look unnatural. So you can see this is too much, and then I lower down it to 75 something so that it looks natural. All right, and thereafter I created one curves adjustment, and you can see I clicked in the mid-tone and drag it down, and that darkened the image, you can see. And thereafter I chose the brush tool, and with the black color I painted in the middle so that this creates a vignette effect, but it doesn't affect the face of the models or the girls. So you can see this is without the mask, and this is after I painted it with the black color. And then we have the exposure. So I created an exposure adjustment layer by coming over here, and this is the exposure adjustment layer. And in its property, what I did, you can see in the exposure I added plus 10, 0.10, and in the gamma correction I added 0.89, so that adds the contrast and that adds the light to the image. So you can see by turning this on and off, it creates a subtle vignette effect around the image. So this is the entire group. So you can see this is before and this is after, and thereafter once again I applied the sharpening using the same method, and I applied it selectively. So you can see this is the final result we have got after going through all these editings. So you can see this is before and this is after. So thank you so much. This was behind the edits, and this is how I edited this image. And if you want to create this kind of effect, go ahead and try this technique, and please consider sharing this on Instagram and hashtag me at Harshvardhanart so that I can also see what you have come up with. So thank you so much. Bye bye. See you in the next episode. Till then, keep shooting and unleash the creative in you. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing. And to subscribe, just click the big red button below this video, and don't forget to click the bell icon as well and turn on all notification rather than personalized, and that way you won't miss my new tutorials.